to be able to design characters and build and create them and then breathe life into them. That's really what's at the core of my passion for what I do as an actor. So here's a quick backstory. When I was a little girl, my mom was in a show called Hello Dolly with the legendary Pearl Bailey, and I would go to the theater and visit my mom when they were on Broadway and sometimes out on tour. And when I would go backstage and see all the artisans, I didn't know at that time, my age, what they were called, but you know, the wig makers and the makeup department and the costumes and the sets and just the artisans, you know, that would create and build and design the world and the characters that were in this world. And that's what actually drew me to the art and the arts.
Designing Emma, a behind-the-scenes experience. Kim Fields gives you an all-access pass as she lights up holiday fashion and beauty in her Lifetime movie, You Light Up My Christmas.
Designing Emma was a wonderful undertaking for this beautiful Christmas movie. It's a love story, the story of a town rediscovering and rekindling its light. And there, swirling about in the center of all of that, is Emma Simmons. She's a successful real estate agent who cares deeply for her family and her town. She is the heir apparent, so to speak, of a Christmas light factory that her great-grandfather started. She comes back to her beautiful small town in Colorado and kind of rediscovers her own inner light and doesn't realize that her inner light is the spark to get the town's light to shine brighter, as well as her ex, Ben. And so Rhonda, the director, Rhonda and I started talking about just kind of who is Emma.
We talked about the character early on in the process, long before we got to set. And then from there, we communicated that to the wardrobe, you know, head of wardrobe for the movie. And Kim has a wonderful team of stylists and designers, and it just sort of mushroomed, right? So that the entire team got involved in creating that look and staying true to that look and making sure that it carried out throughout the film. I tell hair, makeup, and wardrobe people that you're storytellers as well. So it's not just the writer, it's not just the director, it's not just the director of photography, but every person who is on the crew is helping to tell the story.
Everybody's creative energy is allowed, you know, and you get in some circles sometimes where your creative ideas are like shunned or snuffed away. Everybody sitting at the table get a chance to say, no, I think it should look like this, and I think it should look like that. So, you know, you get all these creatives together and their voices are respected.
I challenged them to find a way to make their voice heard in terms of creating who these characters are and in terms of telling the story.
Wanting to have a character that was fashion forward, was trendy.
Emma is unique because she's a very complex character. She's funny, she's intense, she's very passionate, she's very strong-willed. She has a lot of really, really strong personality traits.
I think the character of Emma is unique because she could be that everyday lady in these garments, but I think that the things that we put her in elevated her.
You can tell she's a very smart lady. She knows who she is, and she knows what she wants.
I started looking through different, you know, images, of course, on Pinterest and magazines, and just seeing what kind of felt right for Emma. You start with, you know, the color palette. You start with the hair, the makeup, the costumes and things like that. And it's a total team effort when you're designing a character. I have an amazing team with my hair, starting with Erica Strong, and she's just phenomenal hair designer. Richard Newman Grant, who Erica's based in Atlanta, Richard is based in LA. And so, and they've been my dynamic duo for my hair for years and years. And so Erica created the unit Richard was able to do all of the styles. We're so blessed to have Richard because he's so creative.
With her whole design team, we all get the script, we read it over, and we start imagining what this character looked like before we decide on what it's gonna be.
Creating the looks were really fun.
I didn't want to go bone straight with my hair and jet black. I felt like even though it's beautiful and it looks great on a lot of people are doing that. And so for me, I wanted to do something that was a little bit different, but not in the color schemes of Kim. So we decided we didn't want to go as heavy as a black, so we went into more of like an espresso kind of coloring.
We wanted to show some texture in Emma.
So texture, keeping it more true to her ethnicity.
When you're on camera, you know, it's right up on you, and Rhonda loves doing close-ups and really feeling very intimate. It's a very intimate movie, and so making sure the hair had some really nice texture to it was very important.
Emma isn't one of those slick, straight, you know, in the box kind of girls.
My character is just, she is about it.
And I said to them that I cannot in good conscience allow them to cancel the Christmas Eve party and the tree lighting ceremony.
She makes up her mind to do something and she does it. She doesn't wait for anybody.
She's very passionate.
Emma is one of those that'll pull it up in a ponytail, wear it down, wear it funky, but still want to show off her natural locks.
So once we determined the hair color and texture, then we talked about the length. We wanted to have a length that would have versatility. Ponytails, braids.
Move it out, you know, we can add curls to it, fishtail braids.
Updos, downdos, half and half, that sort of thing. And these are really all the things that you think about, you know, when you're looking at a script. So that was the start for the hair. I asked Alexander Renario to design the makeup look for Emma. I'm told I have very expressive eyes, and so, you know, being able to, again, when Rhonda wants to come in for those close-ups, you know, I didn't want to look done up. Boy, I've just got so much makeup on. It's like, who was that? Alexander and I really wanted to have those moments where it was, you know, very natural.
When I initially talked to Kim, I've already did my homework a little bit about the character. And I knew that with her occupation, her being a real estate agent, she doesn't have a lot of time to spend on her makeup. So I knew that it had to be to a minimum of how much she wears and how exact her looks were. So I would say probably it had to look like she's done her makeup within 30 minutes, because the average working woman doesn't have no more than 30 minutes to get ready for work.
We wanted to keep her palette neutral a lot of times.
I wanted to keep the colors warm, in the warm family, earth tone colors, because it really complemented her skin.
Pop the lip every now and then, more of a full brow for her, which we felt complemented the hair. Just always making sure it felt very fresh-faced. And then, you know, when she gets dressed up a bit more, you know, that we kind of pump it up from there.
Hi, Ben.
Such an unexpected surprise.
I would love one of those meatloaf sandwiches from Mr. Porter's.
Some looks we took to another level, adding a red lip. Anything with a blue undertone, any woman can rock that. So that's a little tip. So we use quite a bit of red lips in the looks, and then we use some soft colors and some bronzy colors and some with a little pop of color, but we try to keep it very, very minimal. Oh, her eyelashes, we used wispy lashes, because wispy lashes are very controlled type lashes. We didn't want any bad eyelashes. A nice simple strip, or you can do individuals to achieve that look. I wanted it to really show her true essence of a woman, and the woman that really takes pride in how she looks, how she presents herself, and her power, her confidence, all of that.
The overall aesthetic for Emma is, again, very tailored, very classically fitting, you know, a nod to the sexy, a nod to the classic, a nod to trending. The costume journey for Emma, with designing Emma, was just definitively a journey. We certainly felt that her work look in Phoenix, where we meet Emma, that she is very fashion forward, very trending, very no nonsense, sexy kind of feel to her. But all of that still making it seem effortless. And then when she gets to Colorado, Rhonda was very specific in saying it should feel like she doesn't fit in. And so creating a costume palette, we didn't really deal with a color scheme. We didn't want to be on the nose with, well, she starts out kind of with her inner light being dim, so let's do neutrals, and then as her light gets brighter, we get brighter. We ain't doing all that. So we decided to just do things that were very, like just really smart looking and edgy. A friend of mine, Al Karim, he has American Couture. And so he created several special looks for Emma.
Kim called me. She called me while I was in France. I was doing my fashion show in the south of France. When I got back, I just wanted to sleep. I didn't want to do anything. I didn't want to sew. I didn't want to drape. I didn't want to look at anything. Didn't want to design. I told myself, when I got back, I was going to do nothing. The challenge was Kim called. Kim called.
He had just returned, and I called him and I said, dude, I know it's Monday, and he had literally just landed on Monday in New York. And I was like, I'm starting the movie on Monday, and I'd really love to have some of your pieces. He's like, okay.
I drew inspiration for the looks for Emma from actually talking to Kim. She explained to me who the character is supposed to be, what she wanted for the character, and the looks that she sort of preferred.
Emma is very in touch with her ancestry and knowing, that her great-grandfather had started this light factory, and, that she was familiar with classic design and classic looks and would give a nod to those things every now and then.
I made some suggestions that we could incorporate in and really make the character come out.
So Kevin Mays, who is an amazing tailor, but also designer in his own right. So he worked with Al Karim, where Al Karim would send certain pieces, and then Kevin would put some final touches on it.
This is a collaboration with Al Karim of American Couture. So it's a collaboration to bring this character, Emma Simmons, to life. What I did was bought fabrics, different furs and different textures of lace and brocades to add to collars and bands, cuffs up jackets to bring this character to life, since she's supposed to be upscale. She's an upscale realtor, and just like selling a house, each house is very different from the next house. So her style of clothing is very different from the next. And when he sent me the basic shell, I took it from there. I looked at it, I evaluated it, and see what each item needed. So some of the items needed fur, and some of the items didn't need anything but alterations.
We wanted some staple pieces here and there, do some touches to certain things, because we felt like Emma, even if she buys something off the rack, she still is gonna, give some couple of touches. So for example, these jeans, they're the very popular ripped jeans, but I asked Kevin to take some Christmas plaid from some pajamas and put them in.
Some of the stuff wasn't custom made, so I had to, like this sweater here was Kim's son's sweater, so I was like, can I use your sweater for the film? So he's like, go ahead. So what I did with this, I reconstructed it. I cut the collar off, and then I added this band here to make it Christmassy, and then I put the brocade here. And actually, this sweater here was a retail that was bought from the store. So what I did with this was fitted to Kim's body, and then I added the roses to make it Christmas and to bring it to life.
Gotta give Ben something to look at when he sees Emma for the first time in all these years. That's why we cut this. The vest was long.
It was way longer. It was still cute.
It was really cute.
But,
Okay, now we're done.
Kim was a huge help in helping me decide where the character was going.
And there were a few inspirations, that we looked at. Angela Simmons, who is huge on Instagram, reality TV star and entrepreneur. She's a friend of mine, and I just thought, you know, a lot of Angela's swag is I think, a lot of Emma's type of swag.
The character is a high-end character. The quality of the fabrics and how they come across on camera, you can see the richness in the eggplant velvet and the satin. You can see the texture in the teal blue outfit, 3/4 length coat. What I realize about people in fashion is if you feel good in something, you're going to act and react a certain way. I felt like the things that were designed for this character make him feel good. And from the footage that she sent me of the test shoots and the styling sessions and things of that nature, she sent me a couple of videos and still shots. She looked really happy, and I love the way everything looked on her, and that really made me happy because I felt like I'd done my job.
Every day I was looking forward to seeing what Kim was going to show up wearing, you know, because I knew that, okay, certain outfits are designated for certain days, but some of them I had not seen before we started shooting, and it was just a wonderful surprise every day.
Also, I wanted to, use this opportunity to invite designers from Instagram to be a part of this. And so we reached out to a few of them. From the accessories, there were 2 designers, Jelani Jewels and TNT Accessories. So all the jewelry that Emma wears is provided by those 2 designers from Instagram. And then there was a way to use costumes to tell Emma's story. So for example, when I was doing my fittings, I'd seen this coat, this like kind of oversized camel coat, and I said, oh, what if that's Emma's father's? And when we meet Emma, we find out that her father had recently passed, and she's coming back home to sell the house. And I said, so what if Emma's dad's coat and hat are still there? And so she wears it sometimes.
Excuse me, I'd like to get this one here, please. His connections, like his hat and his coat and his work clothes and, things like that. I'm glad that everybody sees that part of the vision of the story as well, and how to tell, like I said, to tell those parts of the story without words.
And again, there's little things that you can utilize to keep telling the story that also are part of the wardrobe journey, the costume journey.
We wanted to make sure that everything worked in concert with one another. Nothing was competed, right? Yeah. Exactly, cohesive. Nothing competed with anything. So we always made sure that we talked, amongst ourselves to make sure, hey, this makes sense for this particular scene, what she's doing, what she's wearing, where she's going. Her character, to me, just really exudes a lot of confidence, a lot of power. I think it's something beautiful about women who possess their power, who they know they have power, and it just reads when they walk into the room. And every time her character hits the screen, it's just a wow factor.
It helps the actors to connect with the characters when they know, okay, this is what I wear, this is how my hair looks, this is every little thing about me. It's not just dialogue, it's not just the actions, it's every little morsel that goes into creating character. So with Emma, I had a very specific idea of how I wanted her to look. Kim, incidentally, had the same notion when we started talking about the character. We were on the same page as we usually are about how this character should look, what her style should be, and how that style would help to amplify who she is as a character.
Creating a character that would be able to stand in her own self and be comfortable in her skin was very important.